back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a Friday Reads video, and I wanted to update my T.B.R. I know you guys just saw my July T.B.R. on Monday, but my plans for my T.B.R. have changed. The Kiss of Deception and Red Queen are not available at my library at the moment, so it looks like I won't be able to read those series this month, hence the need for a T.B.R. change. So far this month, I have read Infinity though. This was the first book I wanted to read in July. This book follows a girl named Corey, who's the daughter of an army general, and every time he goes out of town for his job, he sends someone to look after his daughter while he's away, and this time he's sent a boy named Cade to look after his daughter. It turns out Corey's dad isn't an army general at all, and he's actually the head of a government organization that allows people to travel to alternate dimensions. And as it turns out, Cade and the boy that he came with, named Noah, are from an alternate Earth. I just finished this book last week and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Corey was a really relatable character, and I liked that she had a headstrong and feisty personality. She wasn't afraid to ask questions in order to understand what was going on. Also, it turns out that someone named Dylan is after Corey in this book, and he's determined to kill Corey out of revenge. This threatens Corey's entire existence because this guy named Dylan is determined to kill every Corey in every alternate dimension. And Cade, Corey, and Noah are determined to not let this happen. But it turns out the device that's used to allow people to travel to alternate dimensions isn't working in Corey's reality, and this makes the story that much more complicated. I really liked the relationship that develops between Corey and Cade in this book. Cade was in love with the Corey from his reality, and when he starts developing feelings for the Corey in this reality, the both of them aren't really sure if his feelings for her are real, given the fact that he loved this other Corey. I did like this book, but I'll give more in-depth thoughts in my wrap-up at the end of the month. I don't own the rest of this trilogy yet, so I'm waiting for the other 2 books to arrive, but I'm hoping to continue on with this trilogy really soon. Next, I picked up Arclight by Jocelyn L. McQueen. This is the first book in a YA dystopian series, and I originally thought that this was a duology, and I mentioned that in my T.B.R., but this actually is the first book in a series. The first 2 books are out, but there's going to be 2 more books in the series. They just haven't been released yet. In this world, people are afraid of the Fade, because the Fade has basically destroyed the world. The human population lives in what's known as the Arclight. That's the place between the gray and the darkness. No one has ever returned from the dark, or survived it, until Marina. Marina is the main character in this book, and she doesn't remember who she is, where she came from, or how she survived the dark. That's the basic premise of this book. I gave this book 2 stars. I didn't really like it that much at all. After returning from the dark, Marina realizes that a Fade is trying to communicate with her, that she's somehow connected to them, and the Fade want her back with them. Marina doesn't really know what to make of this, since she's just trying to survive now that she's back in the world. Marina comes to realize, with the help of her teacher and a government official, that a Fade is actually trying to communicate with her. The Fade has lost someone important to it. The Fade creature wants to help Marina find out who she is. I didn't really like this book very much, firstly because I thought the plot moved too quickly, and it didn't really give the reader time to digest what was happening in the story. This also created a problem because there was very little character development for any of the characters, and I didn't really find myself connected to any of them, including the main character. I also couldn't get behind the writing style in this book at all. The main character, Marina, has communications with the Fade, and these communications that she has throughout the whole book are very hard to understand. It made the writing style in this book very messy. There's a character in this book named Tobin, and Tobin saves Marina during a potential Fade attack at school. Through the story, it's clear that there's supposed to be a romantic connection between Marina and Tobin, but for me, the connection was so insta-love, and I didn't really believe in the romantic connection at all. Also, because Marina is communicating with this Fade, there's a strange emotional connection between her and the Fade as well, which creates some sort of strange love triangle. I didn't really believe in the initial romance between Marina and Tobin, and I definitely couldn't see a connection between Marina and this Fade character at all. Even though Marina isn't quite who she thinks she is, I didn't really believe in her connection to the Fade either. I could see how people would be somewhat interested in this book. Initially, the book has a unique and interesting concept to it and an interesting world, but there were many things lacking in this novel. I didn't really connect with the characters, the plot moved way too fast, and the writing was just a disaster. That's why I gave this book 2 stars. Even though I did see its initial potential, it just wasn't the book for me, and I definitely won't be continuing on with the series. After reading Arclight, I knew that I wanted to pick up something I knew I would enjoy, so I picked up Did I Mention I Love You by Estelle Mascame. This is the first book in a YA contemporary trilogy, and this is a direct trilogy. The first book leads into the next, and so on. This book follows a girl named Eden Monroe. She's just looking for a summer of friends and fun, but that's before she's been sent to California to spend the summer with her father. She hasn't seen him in 3 years since he walked out on her and her mom. He's married to a new woman, and it turns out Eden has 3 new stepbrothers. One of them is named Tyler Bruce. Eden and Tyler can't stand each other when they first meet. Tyler is a moody, angry asshole, and he doesn't really treat Eden very well. However, Eden and Tyler keep being thrown together through their group of friends, and as Eden begins to understand Tyler more and get to know him, an attraction grows between them. I like moody male characters in books, so right away I was attracted to Tyler. He captured my attention from the very start, and I always suspected there was a softer side to him. He just didn't see it at the beginning of the book. Occasionally, Tyler does show a softer side of himself to Eden, and you could definitely tell that they start to like each other. I was surprised to see how they initially came together though, because it was out of the blue and something neither of them were expecting. It's clear that Tyler likes Eden first, and Eden doesn't really know what to think of that. But as she thinks about it, she comes to realize that she's attracted to Tyler too. This isn't a good thing though, because they're supposed to be stepbrother and stepsister, so they shouldn't have romantic feelings for each other. Once they knew that they had feelings for each other, I love the tension that's between them. Tension lasts throughout the whole book, and I love that. I love how the relationship slowly develops between them. I'll talk more about this book in my wrap-up. I gave this book 3.5 stars. Initially I gave this book 3 stars, and it did feel like a middle-of-the-road book for me, but other things are incorporated into it, like Eden's friendships with the other side characters, and her relationships with the rest of her dad's new family. I like seeing all of those side interactions as well. So that's why I gave this book 3.5 stars, since I think it deserves a little more than an average rating. Since the Remnant Chronicles and the Red Queen series aren't available for me to read right now, I wanted to move on to Altered by Jennifer Rush. This is the first book in a YA science fiction series, and it's actually one of the books I talked about in my YA science fiction series I want to read. It follows this girl whose dad works for a government agency called the Branch, and the Branch is in charge of looking after 4 genetically altered boys. And one day the Branch decides it's time for the boys to leave, so the main character and these boys stage an escape. The main character is growing feelings for this guy named Sam, and she's not sure if she should leave with the boys since she's comfortable staying where she is. Her dad encourages her to leave with the boys because he thinks the Branch is up to no good. So the main character and these boys have no choice but to flee. This sounds like a really interesting science fiction series. I'm really looking forward to it. If I like Altered, I want to move on to Erased by Jennifer Rush. This is the second book in the trilogy. The third book is called Reborn. I'm planning on borrowing the first 2 books from my library, but I purchased the third one since it's not available at my library. Those are all the changes that I want to make to my T.B.R. As soon as The Kiss of Deception becomes available at my library, I might choose at the end of the month to read that instead. Or I just might move those 2 series to August. We'll have to see. That's it for my Friday Reads video. If you want to see more videos from me, I'll put some videos up on the screen that I think you guys should check out. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one.